everyone. Welcome back to the Marisol Nichols podcast. Today, my guest is Uldouz Wallace. She is an award-winning actress, writer, producer, influencer, and activist. She has been in this fight for over a decade now, and she is the founder of Foundation Raw, which is a nonprofit dedicated to helping people get down their leaked private images from pornographic sites. Please welcome to the podcast, Uldouz Wallace. Welcome to the podcast, Uldouz. I have been dying to have you on. I mean, we've been trying for this, I think, for a couple of years now. You are literally the poster child against image-based sexual abuse.
Oh, thank you
so
much.
You have done so much for this cause and kind of been at the forefront of this before AI, before anything. Would you mind, I'd like to start out with just sharing your story of what happened to you. I think it was back in 2014,
Yes.
I believe,
Yes.
With the audience. So let's start there.
All right. Thank you so much, by the way, for having me on. I love everything that you do. You already know that. And I'll just go straight into my story. So I was one of the victims of the iCloud hack leak in 2014. And then me and 99 other women in the public eye, all, usually like A-list movie stars and stuff, was basically hacked and leaked. And then it was little me, like I was just coming up at the time. In entertainment, I was like, yes, it's finally taken off. I'm so excited. I had some acting gigs and modeling, like print modeling, and social media was taking off. It was the beginning of the whole social media era. Like I've been around forever when it came to, the whole like content creator and whatever everybody calls it now. I was super excited at the time. I was just like, I'm about to take off. And then boom, right at the peak, the whole iCloud hack leak happens. And, I'm just devastated at that point. And, people are always like, well, what happened exactly? Well, what really happened was that my ex-boyfriend, he recorded me against my consent and took a couple pictures of me too, and basically threatened to leak them 2 years prior to even the hack happened. And he sent those through the iMessage. And at the time, everybody was like, okay, yeah, do you know what the iCloud is? And all of that kind of stuff, right? So 6 months after ignoring him, I did not want to talk to him. I did not want to have anything to do with him. He basically threatened me. And I kind of forgot about it because I'm like, he's not going to do that. I already knew how he was. He's just, all barking like, no, like real play or whatever you call it. So I was like, okay, he's not going to leak them. I already know him. And fortunately, he didn't leak them, but who would have thought out of all of the circumstances that this crazy hacker was like monitoring everything that I was talking about through my text messages. He knew everything about me. Like he was monitoring not just me, but all of these women, like 100 women, So, I had no idea. I didn't even think anybody wanted to hack me at that point. So it was just like, to me, it was just like, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what the hell the iCloud was. Nobody knew. So when this happened, it completely destroyed my life. I lost everything, like friends, family, many opportunities, brand deals, work. Like everybody started canceling me. And I think I was like one of the few people that were getting canceled before it was cool to cancel anyone. It's funny to me now. Like, it's like if anybody threatens to cancel me, I was like, I was already canceled before it was cool. It already happened, so I don't really care. But what was crazy about it at that time, though, it was really devastating because no brands, no companies, no agencies. There was nobody that really understood what I was going through. And then I was getting bullied from like every angle that you could think of, especially from other, influencers and comedians and, actresses, actors, people that you would have thought would understand something like this. They were actually bullying me way more and making it way worse than what it had to be. and they were spreading this false narrative of me that I was shooting porn, I was secretly shooting porn, and all of these crazy things. And you would talk to a publicist, and they will be like, "Oh, don't talk about it." Then you bring more attention to it, and if you bring more attention to it, then everybody's going to search it again. So,
Right.
I was just silent about it for, 8 years. And basically after 8 years, I was like, why is nobody doing anything? It's been 8 years. Like, now we're already onto AI and, all of these other crazy stories, like sextortion is at an all-time high. There's crazy AI now. There's, all these hidden cams, and porn sites are just like making billions of dollars off of everybody's abuse, and nobody's doing anything about it. Right. So,
Right.
and I also realized that the porn sites have the technology already to take down the non-consensual content from the beginning, but they just don't want to use it because they're making so much money off of it. So then I was just like, well, since the worst has already happened, everybody pretty much painted me out to be something that I'm not. And like, why is nobody doing something about this? Why don't I try to do something and try to attempt to change the law, or at least help people that are going through the same thing as me or have gone through the same thing? And like, I wanted to just create something that I wish I had when I went through it, right? So I reached out. Basically, first I told my story. I came out, shared my story, set the record straight after 8 years. And then after I did that, I basically said, that I wanted to attempt to change the law. And I got reached out by a senator and a rep from Massachusetts. And basically, me and him started drawing up a sample bill. And then I got connected to some nonprofits and this and that. The sample bill got sent over there, and then that got sent over to Senator Mike Lee. And then Mike Lee's office, obviously, he's like a genius. He can draft up all kinds of stuff. So he basically introduced the Protect Act. So yeah, it's been a long road, and so the Protect Act is doing pretty good considering, that it's going against like porn sites basically. But the porn sites are basically being forced to do everything that the Protect Act requires, because they're being criminally charged for trafficking and, money laundering, all kinds of stuff, right? Everything that I was saying was going on is basically all coming out now. And they're being forced to use the protection tools that the Protect Act would require, which is verification of age and consent of everyone depicted in the content, and fingerprint stamp technology, which scans a video and or an image ahead of time and blocks it from further re-uploading. So if you already been uploaded against consent, then they take that image or the video and upload it to their system and blocks it from getting re-uploaded. So they already have all these technologies. They already have the ID verification and consent. Why not just use it from the beginning?
So I'd like to go back to the Protect Act, because this is a very important piece of legislation that you have been behind for a long, quite a few years now, and your nonprofit Foundation Raw. So if you don't mind, walk us through, you mentioned it, like you've said almost everything in the first 10 minutes, but if you don't mind, let's walk the audience through slowly, because I'm assuming most of my audience is not actually on Pornhub.
Yeah.
And it isn't actually watching a bunch of pornography. So they may not know how this stuff works, or if they've listened to me long enough, they do now. But let's talk about what the Protect Act puts in place that is not there at all, which is shocking, I think.
Yes,
that it's
exactly.
not there, that there are no protections. So please go ahead into that.
Yeah, so for many, many years, porn sites like Pornhub, for instance, and many other porn sites, you can upload anything that you want with just an email address, which is really crazy because back in the day, like if you wanted to be a porn star, then you have to, show your ID verification. You have to sign off a letter of consent. You can't be on drugs supposedly, or like, you have to do STD tests. There were all these like steps that supposedly if you wanted to be doing porn that you had to do, right? And but the problem is right now that anyone can just upload anything they want with just an email address. So everything is being uploaded, and there's no real filters or things to block out non-consensual content or child sexual abuse material or anything that's being posted against consent, right? And you would think that that would be crazy. Like social media platforms, at least they have a little bit more barriers against anything just being uploaded. But you would think porn sites that they would have more protection barriers because they're porn sites, right? But they don't. They have actually way less protection barriers, and now they're being actually forced from the attorney general, and they're being criminally charged. I mean, there's just so many things going on because so many discoveries have came through that they're trafficking people on porn sites. There's child sexual abuse material. There are people getting raped. There's non-consensual content that are being uploaded left and right, and people are just profiting millions, billions of dollars off of it. And it's just crazy. Why wouldn't you want to have any kind of barriers from just anything being uploaded, especially not on porn sites, right? So a couple years ago, Pornhub had to delete 80% of their content because 80% was unverified. So that's pretty much their whole website. And it's really hard for them to determine, what's, verified content and not, unless they're, IDing everybody in the content, right? So basically the Protect Act would verify that. It would verify age and consent of everyone depicted in the content. It would make sure that if, God forbid, you got uploaded non-consensually in the first place, that they have to take it down in a swiftly manner, or else they will get heavily fined. And implement the fingerprint stamp technology, which is basically scanning an image or a video ahead of time and blocking further re-uploading. And, these things are self-explanatory. Like, why do we have to sit here and create a law for it, right? But even that hasn't been fully passed yet. And several states have introduced it, and it's been federally introduced twice. And then also it just recently got introduced at the House of Representatives, which is good. And Canada have their own version of something similar to the Protect Act, which is called the CISE Act. And other countries are starting to adopt it as well. And they have their own versions, like Australia, UK, and all these other countries that I really been pulling teeth in, like trying to introduce it there or getting them to have their own versions, right? Because even if we pass it here in the US, we still need to do it globally. So I've been trying to reach out to the UN. I didn't have much success with that. So I started my own international coalition because I was like, I don't want to wait for this, so I started that. So I started, pulling things together, and things are happening now. But yeah, it would be great if the UN would do something, that would be amazing. So yeah, that's basically everything in a nutshell. I think I covered everything.
What you've been doing, Uldouz, is you have been leading the charge, and it's so important today because you've got teenagers texting, nude pics to each other. You've got Discord and Meta and Facebook and all of this stuff. And it's so easy to have access to people's private videos and private photos. And as we all know, and we've had Layla on here a couple times now, Pornhub is just fully taking full advantage of this.
Yeah.
And what you've done, you're a beast, man. Just so you know, you are a
Thank
beast.
you.
It's phenomenal.
I'm exhausted.
If I'm sure, I'm
I'm
sure.
like, help me,
But
God.
but for the audience, like you've really broken this down on the website. So please, audience, if you'd like to know more, go to foundationraw.com. But you go into revenge porn laws, sextortion laws, international extortion laws, and then deep fake AI laws, which is the newest thing that is really just off to the races, and law enforcement is there's pretty much almost nothing in place yet,
Yeah.
legal wise to prevent this yet.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how AI has just in the deep fake world and how this is just sort of taken off since
Yeah.
starting this?
First of all, for anyone that thinks this can't happen to me, I'm so careful, blah, 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 I'm not in the public eye. It has nothing to do with that. It could happen to anyone in an instant, especially through deepfake AI. So anyone can get an app that can take your face and make it look very realistic on pornographic videos, images, and all of that sort of stuff, and it would look really real where people think that you're actually doing porn now, or that you have a full-blown OnlyFans or whatever it might be, right?
Right.
And it's really awful. It's destroying people's lives. I mean, I was also a deepfake victim or whatnot, and I had no idea for the longest until the guy that does the takedown request, he was like, oh my God, there's like just 3,000 links of deepfake material in 1 month of you, right? And I was like, what? Like, it's like they're turning you into a full blown porn star, and you're just have no idea what's going on because you're not sitting there thinking that people are going to do something
No.
like this. It's always usually someone that notices it, that knows you, or, that's how people starting to find out, or somebody gets a link and starts spreading it around. And usually it's the people that that are doing this to you, like a guy that you might have met, or classmates, or things like that, co-workers. You never know. It's just really weird people out there. But technically, anyone shouldn't have access to create deep fake material. And why is there no laws against that? Why is there no laws that are protecting the people from deep fake and AI generated material that makes it look really legit, right? So now everybody's catching up to this. So the Protect Act, luckily, would actually cover every form of image-based abuse. So that's a no-brainer, right? But the Protect Act would just pretty much cover the adult sites, right? So we will still need more legislation that covers, for social media and for just internet in general. And Google and all of these platforms, they're all starting to catch up now, but it's just, we're way behind. They started deepfake years ago, and, it's already, like, now it's booming, but what about all of the poor people that got deepfaked and uploaded and, their lives destroyed? What happens to them? That's years that are gone that they will never get back. The money, the work, the family, the life that they could have had, just because somebody just created this non-consensual content of someone, of just a picture off of a Facebook or Instagram page. It's crazy. And they're doing that to children, especially now. Like, so all these like child predators, they're regenerating the same amount of content. They're just swapping out faces. You can even change out rooms. You can change out the bodies, and like, it's crazy the stuff that they can do. And it goes even further. They can basically turn you into a criminal if they want to, like with deepfake. So there's just so many things that can go wrong with this technology. And there's not enough laws to protect the people from it.
Now, you fought very long and hard to get your images taken down. Are they currently all down now?
No.
No.
I mean, it's crazy. I signed with an MCM. I signed with a couple of
What was that?
MCN. So it's like YouTube monetization companies. So I was on
Okay.
YouTube and I was going viral like crazy. I was on Vine, all of these platforms for like comedy videos. And,
Mhm.
you know, my colleagues will make like $30,000, 15,000, 25, every month they will make like crazy amounts of money. And they were telling me, oh, we're going to take 10% and we're going to remove these images and the video of you and help you with that because it was just so much that I couldn't keep up. And plus, it was hard at the
Sure.
time. I didn't really know what I was doing with the Google copyright claims. And, I had to actually learn how to do that myself too. But even that it was just such a headache. It would take hours and hours and hours. So I was doing that. But then come to find out years later that they were just stealing my money. So, like I ended up counting it up and like they were stealing my money first of all, and then it was over $1 million on top of that I spent on taking the content down. So like
Oh,
so not only did they steal some money, but then also it was like over $1 million that I spent on trying to get the non-consensual content down. And the problem was a lot of times like, a brand would come out or like you will have this great big opportunity, like an acting gig or something. And then everybody will be like, oh my God, you need to get this stuff taken down like ASAP, right? So you would dish
right,
out all this money, try to get this stuff taken down because God forbid they're going to find out about this awful thing that happened to me. And,
right.
and then you're not going to get the job, right? And it didn't matter how much money I would dish out, but I would fall for that trap so many times trying to get this stuff taken down. And then I would still not end up getting this stuff, the brand, the job or whatever, because it will be impossible to basically take it down. And like I said, I didn't even know I was getting deep faked on top of that. So
Right.
not only was there like one little snippet video of me, but now like they turned me into like a full blown porn star looking thing, right? So yeah, it was just it was awful. But like $1 million with no success is crazy. And
That's insane.
why is it on, victims or survivors to have that responsibility, to take that down and pay these lawyers and, take down request people or companies in general. Like, and everybody's in it on it to make money off of you. Nobody really cares. Like they're just like, oh my God, like here's a victim. Oh, how can we make money off of her? You know? Which is so messed up. So that's why I wanted to create Foundation Raw because that's something I wish I had. So Foundation Raw has,
Mhm.
we have a takedown guy that takes everything down for free, and they scan the whole internet, against deepfake, anything that could have been posted non-consensually, even like if it's bikini pictures or any other things like that. And he basically submits a request to take it down, right? So, I mean, like, I wish I had that then, but
Yeah.
I didn't. And like, also with lawyers too, there's, you can get free legal advice, through Foundation Raw. And, there's all kinds of resources that are there for free. And again, that's something I wish I had because the lawyers that you would talk
Right.
to, they were like, "Oh, it's like $20,000 retainer just to talk to me," and I didn't have like A-list movie star money, so I was just like, "Okay, I'm in this situation, but I'm not making that kind of money. I'm just coming up. What about people like me? What do we do? You know?"
So for the audience, if you know of anyone who's in this situation who has been taken advantage from these companies, please go to Foundation Raw. And as she mentioned, it's for free. Anyone can follow the steps and get their images taken down. So I applaud you. I applaud you for that.
Thank
And
you.
also the Protect Act. audience members, we need to support this. There's a change.org petition that I have signed. You can also go on foundationraw.com, click the link, or even in Uldouz, I believe it's in your bio on your
Yeah.
Instagram, on your social media channels, to go to change.org, sign the petition. And if you can go a step further, contact your senator, your congressman, and tell them that they need to support the Protect Act. It's astonishing that this is not in law yet. Aldous, how long ago was it that you testified in front of Congress on
It
this?
was in 2022. So, for what, 2 years now, I've been just
Right.
going like nonstop, and it's crazy. I've been literally, like, personally been calling all the senators myself, like, talking to them, try to get them to, introduce the Protect Act, not just
Yeah.
federally, but statewide as well, and then internationally too. And
Yes.
I will say this, it's kind of amazing to me that one person can do so much. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that it was possible that one person could do so much, but I want to encourage everybody out there that, not to forget about the power of one. Like, they can all do everything that I've done, they can do it themselves. It's that there's no rules to this. Anyone can basically create this and introduce something, or change the law, whatever they want to do, or do a nonprofit, whatever they're trying to attempt to do. But it's just gonna take a lot of work. So it's just determination and that kind of thing. And even for me, like, it gets tiresome. And I think the hardest part have been, for me, is the discoveries along the way, discoveries of, like, nonprofits that you thought were so amazing that they're not, and they just care about money. They don't care about survivors. They just want to get you to share your story so they can make the money, and then they just throw you to the side. They just want to use and abuse you, kind of thing. And then also in the survivor world, like, I thought, first when the iCloud happened, right? I thought that the actors and, like, entertainment people, these are my people, right? These are my people. Oh my God, like, I finally found my people. And then I got into that, and right away everybody turned on me, and I was like, okay, these are not my people, right? And then I came into the survivor world, and I'm like, oh, they went through the same thing as me. These are my people. These are my people. And then, right? And then again, it's like, oh my God, they're projecting all of their issues on me like a punching bag. So then I was like, oh my God, this is not good. I need to step aside, like, and just focus on the Protect Act and Foundation Raw, right? So I was like, okay, these are not my people either. Like, so it's just constantly trying to find that. And then now I came to the realization that, you don't need anybody. You got everything that you need in yourself. And, like, if I can do it, you can do it, everybody can do it. All they need to understand is the power that they have within themselves, and then they can change anything they want. They can create any kind of reality that they want, right? So I think that's the biggest lesson, is to everybody everybody can do what they can to help.
I love that message, and you're absolutely right. It's astonishing what one person can do, and you are a wonderful testament to that. You've built over 10 million followers on all your social media accounts, all supporting what you're doing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful testament of the power of one. So thank you. I think that's a
Yeah.
perfect place to end this episode. It's perfect.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. I love everything that you've been doing, and I don't know. I'm kind of curious in what has your experience been with this? Have you had any kind of realizations, like, oh my God, it's not at all what I thought it was gonna be? Because for me,
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing. Like, a lot of disappointments. Like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, why? I was shocked that I didn't get more support. And if anything, it was more like, oh yeah, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have people that support, but I thought, like, oh, everyone's going to want to support this. Everyone's going to want to get on board with this and do something.
Yeah,
Let's go. And it was kind of astonishing
yeah,
that it was like, oh no, okay, I'm sort of on my own on this. All right, let me go find my peeps.
Yeah.
100%. So I know that. And as far as the deep fakes, I'm too scared to even look.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there. I don't even want it. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. It's it's I'm sure,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm astonished also for you that you didn't get more support. Especially you were up and coming. You'd been in these films with A-list, you know, actors. I'm surprised they turned on you. That's kind of heartbreaking. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was more the influencers and the people that were coming up. I'm pretty sure, like, if it was like Jennifer Lawrence or someone that was up there, they probably would have been supported, but they didn't know about me at the time, right? But like the
Hmm.
people that were, coming up, they use that as a tool to kind of push me out of the way, So they're just like, oh, okay, well, she has more followers than me on Instagram. This perfect opportunity to clamor down, and. So that's kind of what happened. But I think even with this cause, like, there's been a lot of support. But I think like there's a lot of support, but then there's also people that are like, oh, that's not too serious. They shouldn't have taken the pictures, or they shouldn't even have posted themselves on social media. Like, they shouldn't exist.
I mean, there's always going to be haters and critical people on the internet, but I try to teach that to my daughter. It's like, look, if you want to be quote unquote an asshole, the internet is the place to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can be anonymous, you can hide behind anything, you can say whatever you want, and there's always going to be haters. And so if there's one thing that I think I've learned, it's just like people are always going to criticize. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Exactly.
And you have.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm doing the stuff, but I just learned how to maneuver it better because I
Yeah.
think when I started, I didn't know what I was doing, obviously. So I got involved with a lot of big nonprofits and I helped them. And I realized, like, from one nonprofit, I spent over like 300,000 off of like free
Jeez.
labor, connecting them to people, like doing press, PR, like all of these things. And then in the end, they just like discarded me and treated me like crap. And I was just like, what? What is going on? And plus, I was posting only like really depressing stories. And I think people were just like, people were getting like kind of like, okay, we heard this is becoming too much. And my
Mhm.
background is comedy. So now I try to like, lighten everything up where I still do my
Yeah.
comedy, but then I still do the cause and, that kind of thing. So
Yep.
it's all about balance.
Yeah, I had to actually learn that with the podcast. I was like, okay, if it's too dark, if it's too much, no one's going to come back.
Yeah.
So I need to make it palpable and palatable so that people will come back, want to learn more, want to do something about it, and not be so horrified and overwhelmed that they never want to hear about it again. It's a total balance. It's something that I've learned as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, like, thank you so much. We got each other's back though, so.
That's right. Thank you for listening to the Marisol Nichols podcast. And please do not forget to click like and subscribe. And a big shout out to WD Hahn for our theme song, Something's Gotta Change. See you next time.